Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's a Friday, and that means tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. Now, to be completely honest, I thought it was just an alright episode of Smackdown. If you missed it, you really didn't miss all that much. Like, I'm gonna be that honest. It was fun. It was easy to watch. It was not bad. Like, there was nothing wrong, bad, or just so god awful on this show, I guess you would say. But there was also nothing super consequential, if I said that right. Consequential. That's the right way to say it. Nothing that, at least in my opinion, and as I'm looking back up over my notes, that really built to anything. Kind of. Like, we're probably going to get DIY versus Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. They did a little bit of a tease for tomorrow's Cody Rhodes Oba match that ended kind of weird. And then, as I'm looking back over my notes, everything else on this show was just kind of for the here and now, I guess you would say. And I don't see where it builds to anything going forward. It's kind of just like, hey, we got some ideas for some stuff for tonight. Let's go. So, if I was voting with you guys, I would say it was just all right. I'm going to be completely honest. I would say that this show was just all right. And with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos, when we go live, and when we post to the community tab. If you want to help us in another way, just like so many of you have, hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emotes, and emojis that you can use in the live chat, access to our graphics packages, and so much more. You can also get that at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, also on YouTube, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. We're in that new season of Fortnite. It started, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't jumped in yet, or you're just getting all the new stuff in the store, use our code. PWU NLIMITED. That's PW Unlimited. Whether that's on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, your phone, your tablet, your Switch 2, your Amazon Fire Stick, anywhere you can play Fortnite, because you can play Fortnite in so many different places. And also remember, Winterfest is coming, which is bringing us Harry Potter stuff. Also, a new skin dropping, I think, tonight or tomorrow, Kim Kardashian. So if you're interested in Kim Kardashian, you're going to get her from the shop. PW Unlimited creator code, put it at the bottom of the store. With all of that, the show was from the Mohegan Sun Casino, and it was kicked off by WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Now, I will say WWE did a good job reminding us over and over and over again, tomorrow is John Cena's last match. Tomorrow is Saturday night's main event. But the one thing that I think they missed the boat on, they kept saying, tomorrow, Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match. Tomorrow, John Cena's final match on Saturday night's main event. But I think I only once heard them say the show was only on Peacock. I think that's all I really heard them say as far as where to watch the show was one time they said Peacock. So for people that don't know, they may go to NBC at 8 o'clock tomorrow or 5 Eastern or however they're going to, 5 Pacific, however they're going to try and watch it and be like, where's the show? I watched the last 4 or 5 on NBC. Where is it? So for some people that don't know, I feel like WWE may have slightly dropped the ball on that tonight, telling us that it's only on Peacock now. But Cody Rhodes makes his way out to the... Well, actually, before all of that, there's a big old video package that took like almost 8 minutes, I want to say. At least like 5 to 8 minutes. Recapping everything that went down with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre last week and so forth. So that was a time taker, I guess you would say. I don't know. Waster, kind of, but not really a waste. Oh, I'm all out of my prime. Drank it all. Anyways. So they have this long, drawn-out video package where they show Cody demanding that Drew be unsuspended, and he wants to beat his ass, and this and that and so forth. And Corey Graves and Michael Cole welcome us to the show, and they discuss a video that was posted on social media today by SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis, basically regarding Drew McIntyre stating, yeah, we got to let him back. He's invited to the show. Backstage, Cody Rhodes is confronted by Nick Aldis, who has a letter from McIntyre's attorney claiming an unsafe working environment is why he will not be at SmackDown, even though he was invited to be at the show. Rhodes took the paper, crushed it up before he walked down to the ring and opened to the show. Cody Rhodes comes down and addresses the crowd. He says, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, what do you want to talk about? He then says that tomorrow night is Saturday night's main event, and he'll be going up against NXT champion Oba Femi, and possibly and the possibility of McIntyre could be there as a distraction and whatnot. He starts talking more about Drew, making fun of the claims of an unsafe working environment. Rhodes said that there's a reason McIntyre is kicking officials and not mingling with the crowd. And the reason why he's not WWE champion is because he's only half in. Rhodes noted that if he was the boss, if he was in charge, he'd fire Drew because Drew is not fully committed. So that's why he's going to kick his ass. Rhodes was about to talk a little bit more. He kind of soaked in the crowd for a second, and right before he could say anything more, out come NXT champion Oba Femi. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Oba Femi has it. We always ask the question of, what is it? And Oba Femi has it. I can't explain it. It's an aura. It's a feeling that somebody gives you as far as being a top guy. And Oba Femi has it. We've seen other people come from NXT and you go, that guy's going to be a big star. That guy's going to do well. Carmelo Hayes, for example. And it's like, in the last, let's say since COVID, there's 2 guys I feel that have come from NXT and it's like, oh, these guys are going to be at the tippy top. And it's Oba Femi and it's Braun Breaker. And Braun Breaker is slowly being pushed in that direction to be the face of the company eventually. The guy main eventing multiple WrestleManias, world champion, and so forth. I think Oba Femi is on that same trajectory. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, about Trick Williams. Trick Williams as well. I see Trick Williams as a player. Maybe upper level IC right at the, how do I explain it? Bronson Reed is a top guy, but a top guy that I don't ever see winning the world title. That's what I see for Trick Williams. He's always up there mixing it up with the top guys that you could see as world champion, but I don't know if he'd ever win the world title. Oba Femi, that guy's going to be a world champion one day. That guy's going to be in a WrestleMania main event, just like Braun Breaker. And so Oba Femi comes out, and the way he walks down to the ring to the beat of his music, he's just got a presence that is unmatched by a lot of people. And so he comes down to the ring, he does this, and he immediately gets in Cody's face. And Cody's like, okay, let's give this guy a mic. Give me a mic. So he goes and hands Oba Femi a mic. Femi opened his piece by saying that he likes Rhodes' passion, but he was worried that Cody was worried about the wrong man. Tomorrow you're facing me, but you're not even thinking about me. He introduces himself as the ruler, the man that brings the war, the mountain that you can't conquer. NXT champion Oba Femi. Femi claims that everyone talks about the future and how the future is so far away. But well, the future is here. And he is it. And he says, and it is right here in front of you. Femi then quotes John Cena's music, saying, your time is, what does he say? How does he say it? He says, my time is now, or something like that. And Cody's like, Hey, you quote John Cena. You look up to the man just like me. Great to see. He says, the one thing, though, is that and this is weird because Cody, like, acknowledges Femi and everything, and then just goes, you quote John Cena, but I defeated John Cena to win this title, and then just goes to walk off. Like, that was kind of anticlimactic. You like Cena? Well, I got to beat Cena and win the belt. And then he just goes to leave, which is like, it really made me feel like he's overlooking Femi, which he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. Femi then stops him and raises up his NXT champion high above his head. So Cody raises the WWE championship high above his head. Both men stare at each other, and then the segment just ends. Like, it was great, but did have an awkward end, I will say. To me, it felt a little off. Just the way Cody's just like, you quote John Cena, but I beat him to win this title. And then just goes and walks. I'm like, that did not feel like the end of a statement in this kind of setting. Okay. Anyways, I thought it was good overall, though. I really enjoyed it. So moving forward, Ilya Dragunov was met by Aphraxium backstage, who offered to help him tonight against Tommaso Ciampa, just in case maybe Johnny and Candice want to get involved. Dragunov respectfully declined, stating that, he's the champion. He's going to do it on his own. And then he was going to follow John Cena's example and be a, quote, fighting champion. So that match was next. It was the United States Championship on the line. Ilya Dragunov against Tommaso Ciampa. And this is a match that they've been teasing. Ciampa keeps trying to accept the open challenge, and then somebody else gets the match over him. Or Dragunov says, I'm not facing you this week. So they've been teasing and teasing and teasing. And this match did not disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. This match was so good. This match was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved the crap out of this match. Now, I'm not 100% sure where it came from, but at one point, freaking Dragunov was bleeding from his nose, and it just kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. To where, like, about half of his whole face was all just covered. Which gave a great visual for this hard-hitting match. The Ciampa backed Dragunov into the corner early on, and they teed off with some strikes, some chops, and whatnot. The two then got into an exchange of hard-hitting attacks against one another, but Dragunov got the best of the exchange with a hard boot to the jaw of Ciampa. Challenger then took advantage by hitting an injured knee, the injured knee of Dragunov. So they're still playing up that the knee's not maybe 100%. I don't know. Like, I don't like that. Dragunov at one point forced Ciampa into the corner and struck him hard with a running boot to the face. Outside the ring, Ciampa barely avoided a running charge. Ooh, excuse me. This is kind of a weird spot. He barely avoided a running charge, but it was weird because Ciampa's on the outside of the ring in front of the announce table, and Dragunov jumps out the other side of the ring, and he goes to run around the ring at Ciampa, and then he does this weird dive at Ciampa, and Ciampa just does the Samoa Joe, I'm gonna step out of the way kind of thing. And then Dragunov dives into the steps, but doesn't hit him that hard. And it was weird. It was just, it looked a little weird. Ciampa took advantage of this though. He took over with a suplex that crushed Dragunov's knee on impact against the side of the steps. We go to a commercial break. When we come back, the U.S. title match is resumed with Dragunov kind of trying to fight out of a rest hold. At one point, Dragunov did manage to ground Ciampa with a nice jumping enziguri to the side of the head. The U.S. champion then struck his foe in interlocking German suplexes on Ciampa, connecting with two of them as he then struck him with some elbows. Dragunov at one point was hobbling on one leg, trying to get to the top rope, which gave Ciampa enough time to open up with a kick that left him up on the apron. Ciampa then hoisted Dragunov up and hit an air raid crash on the hardest part of the ring, but still it wasn't enough to keep Dragunov down. In another top rope skirmish, Dragunov got the better in a duel with Ciampa as he took him down with a missile drop kick. We then went picture in picture for this one. When we returned to full screen, Dragunov was attacking Ciampa. Both men then faced off in the middle of the ring and got into a little bit of a strike battle that looked pretty damn brutal. They were slapping and smacking each other very hard because you can hear everyone connecting. Actually, Dragunov countered a dragon screw with a German suplex. Champa then hit a torpedo, and hit Champa with a torpedo Moscow. At one point, Johnny Gargano would run down to distract the referee, and Candice LeRae would then come out to attack Dragunov. And at this point, Dragunov's been bleeding for a while. This then opened up Dragunov for a running knee from Champa. However, that wasn't enough to keep the U.S. champion down. Dragunov then did eventually finish off the match by countering a fairy tale ending into a pinning combination on Champa. 1, 2, 3. This was an amazing, hell of a U.S. title match. May have been one of, if not the best one that they've done with Dragunov in this U.S. title open challenge. This ruled. Like, this match was awesome. So after the match, though, Johnny jumps in and immediately puts the boots to Dragunov. Champa puts the boots to him as well. And then out comes, I thought it was going to be Fraxium. You know, Fraxium was like, hey, if you need help against DIY, we're here for it. But no, it was Carmelo Hayes instead. Hayes comes down. He attacks, I want to say it was Champa first. Johnny then tries to come at him from behind, but he lays out Johnny as well. DIY retreat, and he stands tall with the United States champion. So I assume maybe we get a tag match. We're going to get Dragunov and Mello against DIY. So moving forward, Kathy Kelly was with Javon Evans, talking about a big title match he's got tomorrow night with Leon Slater of TNA. They'll be challenging AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for the World Tag Team Championships. Miz then interrupted. He's like, Kathy, why aren't you asking me about my match tomorrow night? Oh, wait, you can't because I don't have one. He's like, I should be on John Cena's final show. And blah, blah, blah. And he starts just whining, basically. This then led to Javon Evans going, Miz, you want a match? I'm here. I'll fight you tonight. And Miz is like, you know what? It's not a bad idea. I'm going to go Nick Aldis and get our match made official. As Miz goes to walk away, we see like the VHS static and the logos of the Wyatt Six because they're coming up next. So the Wyatt Six make their way out to the ring. Group led by Uncle Howdy come down. Howdy talked about Solo Sikoa's attempt to discredit their family, saying that Sikoa might not have the power to look within, look at himself as Howdy does. He said that Sikoa's real family, the original bloodline, turned their backs on him. So now he had to make a fake family, another family. Howdy called Sikoa delusional, proclaiming that the MFTs run SmackDown, because as long as the Wyatts have the tag titles, which I fucking forgot again that they had the tag titles, because they never tell us that, and the MFTs run nothing. Howdy then issued a challenge. He said, Solo, if you want to come for these titles, by all means, come try to get them. Solo's music plays, but nobody comes out. He and the MFTs instead are on the Titantron. Sikoa said that the Six didn't call the shots. He did. He said that they were going to do things his way, because the Wyatts had better prepare for war. And I'm like, prepare for war? We just had war games. None of y'all were in it. Sikoa threatened the Six by telling them to give the tag titles to the MFTs, as he ended his promo by invoking Bray Wyatt, as he told the Six to run. It was very interesting and weird. Yeah, I'm not into any of this. I'm going to say it right now. I'm not into any of this. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were in the locker room backstage. They were basically just getting ready for Alexa's match with Lash Legend. Rhea Ripley would appear, wished Bliss good luck, and there we go. And whatever. But then we got celebrities wishing John Cena a happy retirement, basically. We got Eli and Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Snoop Dogg said he's going to roll a fat one for John. We even got Jelly Roll getting a little emotional. And in the crowd, they showed Bayley and Soruka, who will be having a one-on-one match tomorrow at Saturday night's main event. Moving forward, we had Alexa Bliss versus Lash Legend. And to be honest, commentary was a little annoying here. And not annoying in a bad way, but in a way where it's just all about Lash. And they're just putting her over and over and putting over Lash Legend and putting over Lash Legend to the point where I lost focus on the actual match. I was listening to commentary more than actually realizing what was going on in the match. And I don't know if that's good or a bad thing. Commentary was doing a good job putting her over, or was it that the match was boring? And so I wasn't paying attention. That's the thing to think about. Early on, Alexa Bliss avoids a jumping kick from Legend. Bliss then jumped up on her back and shoulders and whatnot. Bliss then sent Legend out of the ring with the Hurricane Rana. Bliss then tried to go for a leap from the apron, like a little somersault flip dive. The last Legend caught her and throw her. I guess she was supposed to be ribs first, but it was more like chest and chin first onto the barricade in the timekeeper's area. After a commercial break, Legend targeted Bliss's arm and then lifted her up basically by the one arm. And they're really showcasing her power here. And commentary kept getting very enamored by her power. They were talking about her, stats at Texas A&M, playing college basketball, and a whole bunch of other stuff. The Legend weathered Bliss's offense and caught her again with what they call the last minute on the apron. Nia Jax tripped up Bliss. So Charlotte Flair, who had to take her shoes off because she was wearing these big-ass heels that she almost tripped in coming down to the ring. And she got into it with Nia Jax, and then Lash Legend laid her out, where she went full ass over tea kettle, legs up in the air. Again, had to take her shoes off to do this. Legend then finished off Bliss with an impressive, what they call the Lash extension, and pinned her 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say right now, it wasn't bad, but there wasn't much to it. And commentary was more taking my focus away. Just Lash Legend this and Lash Legend that. And Lash Legend this and Lash Legend Lash and Lash. Oh, hey, look, Alexa's in this match. So that was a little weird, but okay. So moving forward, we had another match here. It was The Miz versus Javon Evans. Miz got the advantage early with a shoulder block on Evans as the crowd was chanting for the young OG. The young OG got himself back into the match as he shoved Miz and hit him with an athletic drop kick right to the face, followed by a springboard Hurricane Rana that sent Miz to the ringside area. GTA for life. He says, "Damn, Tim, you called the women's match boring. Be nice." Be nice. I'm just being honest. If that was, say, I don't know, Otis versus Carmelo Hayes, and I thought the match was a boring match, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say it wasn't much of a match. There was nothing wrong with it, but there was nothing that made it stand out. I don't understand why you got to frame it that way. You call the women's match boring. To be honest, in WWE, they're all just matches. That's why they're all superstars, and they're not superstars and divas anymore. So you can fuck off with that comment trying to make me sound bad. Tim says the women's match was boring. I did, because there was not much to it. It was a solid, fine match. But what was a little better than just fine because of Javon was Miz and Javon. Like, there was nothing, again, even with this match, there was nothing special about it. Javon got to look good. But at the same time, why did Miz have so much offense in this match? Why did Miz ground him for so long? Like, it was weird, the amount of offense that they gave Miz here. Anyways, Javon tried to go for a high-risk move, but Miz got ahead of it and with a knee. After a commercial break, the veteran Miz took over the match as he sent Evans into the ring post. He then targeted his arm, which led to... he then targeted his arm. Miz at one point had Evans trapped in a cross-face submission that they called the It Lock. And then Michael Cole made fun of the It Kicks that he never actually did. Evans then mounted a comeback with a leaping punch, followed by his rebound and Zaguri kick on the Miz. Evans headed to the top and looked to be going for like a moonsault, but Miz got out of the way, and Evans dropped to the mat. Miz then grabbed him and kind of did John Cena's comeback with the 5-knuckle shuffle and everything. Tried to go for the attitude adjustment, but Evans landed on his feet-ish and sent Miz to the outside for a sword over the top rope with the Undertaker-style dive. Miz then tried to counter the OG cutter into a skull-crushing finale, but got rolled up in a pin. After a sneaky, cheap pin attempt on Evans by Miz, the match came to an end eventually when Evans hit a huge OG cutter and picked up the victory. Now, my son watched a little bit of this show with me, and he saw Javon Evans, and he was like, Dang, that guy's cool. They need to show him more. Because he doesn't watch NXT, so he's never seen him before. This is his first time seeing Javon. And he's just like, hey, you show that guy more. So Javon's resonating with especially the younger audience. GTA for Life says, why are you getting mad? I'm getting mad because you're calling me out for shit. You're basically trying to frame it in a way like I don't like the women's matches. Because like I said, if that was a men's match, you wouldn't have even commented that. You wouldn't have even commented that. But you're trying to make me look bad in my own comment section. So I'm going to call you out for being a baiter, you motherfucker. Rhea Ripley was confronted by Nia Jax and Lash Legends in the back. Basically threatened to do to her what they did to Alexa Bliss. Ripley was unmoved by all of this. Wasn't threatened at all. And then said that her and Io were going for the tag titles. Rhea was then met and confronted by the WWE Women's Champion at Jade Cargill. So then we got this not even match with Michin. Michin cuts a promo. She's supposed to be coming down to the ring. Jade then gets in the ring and immediately asks for a microphone. She starts talking crap. Michin comes down. Jade beats her ass before the match even starts and leaves her laying. What? This sucked. I'm going to say it right now. I don't know why I keep saying Lash Legend. Michin is a great professional wrestler, like a freaking amazing pro wrestler. And nothing against B-Fab, but B-Fab actually got a match and more offense on Jade than Michin did. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You gotta be goddamn kidding me right now with all of this. Like, Michin just look like a geek. A goob and noob. This was not good. This sucked big time. Let me put this guy in timeout real fast. So, yeah, this wasn't good. This did not do Michin any favors. And if people will wonder why people are down on Michin, this is why. Because they just make her look like a freaking geek all the time. So they ran down the card for tomorrow night. John Cena did confirm on the McAfee show that he is going on last. He will main event. Basically, Pat's like, hey, is it true? The rumors online, you're opening the show? And John's like, no. What? And fucking John, listen to this one. John goes, so I said something on Jimmy Kimmel, about the beginning of the show and opening up the show and this, that, and da-da-da. And people ran with that as I'm the first match. But it's not true. He's like, as far as I know, unless they're going to change something tomorrow, we're going on last. I'm ending the show. And he goes, and, people saw what I said on Kimmel, kind of spun it. And then there were people with credibility in the space that said it. And that's why it got picked up the way it did. So basically, he's like, yeah, some people who are considered credible journalists in wrestling said I was going on first and people ran with it. Like, what? Oh, Lord. That was a shot at Brian Alvarez. So they also tell us that on January 2nd from Buffalo, New York, well, SmackDown's going back to 3 hours. Basically what they said was, we ain't got a show for that 10 o'clock hour, so we're going back to 3 hours. Oy vey. Hey, Dios mío. This is gonna fucking suck. This is gonna fucking suck. 3 hours of SmackDown? Nobody wants that. Nobody! So then as we move forward, actually the rest of the card for tomorrow. So we got John Cena versus Gunther in the main event. We've got what they're saying is the title match. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending the World Tag Team titles against Javon Evans and Leon Slater, which huge for Leon Slater to be on this show. Javon too, but huge for Leon to be a TNA guy getting an opportunity here. Cody Rhodes versus Femi and Bayley versus Sol Ruka. So then we had our main event. It's a mixed tag team match. It was the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Aleister Black and Zelina. I must say it. Match was just all right. Like, it was a fun main event. But, yeah. GTA fans says, watch your language. My kids are listening. You've never watched one of my podcasts before, have you, guy? Drop F-bombs all the time. So that's on you. That's on you. I don't have to watch my language. I'm the one producing this content and can say whatever I want. That's on you if your kids hear it or not, because you have put this on around them. Is there anywhere on here that says that it is, for all ages? When YouTube asks me when I upload and post a video, is this made for children or is it not made for children? I always put not made for children. So you're not my boss. You're not my producer. You're not directing this podcast. So I can say whatever the fuck I want. As far as this match does go, like I said, it was a fine main event. There was nothing wrong with it. But it felt like it was just there. And the build to this was kind of just whatever. There's nothing coming out of it. Yes, it was payoff to a month and a half, 2-month build. But, So, Black attacked Priest as he was posing on the top rope to start the match off, but soon found himself shelled by a clothesline from Priest that sent him to the outside of the ring. Priest then pointed towards Ripley, who made the tag, as Zelina leapt upon his shoulders. Back in the ring, Ripley blasted Zelina with a clothesline, followed by a knee to the face, and then one more clothesline that took her out in a picture-in-picture. Smackdown's main event, and they continued after a break as Zelina targeted Ripley's arm with a submission over the corner, followed by a Meteora from the top for a near fall. Zelina then went after Ripley's knee and whiffed on some sort of leg scissor, head takedown kind of deal. It looked meh. Zelina then opted to connect with the DDT instead. Ripley then caught Zelina and threw her down. She got the tag to Priest. Priest then took on the legal man and Aleister Black and dropped him with a suplex that got a near fall. He had Priest targeted with a clothesline, but Zelina provided a good enough distraction, I guess you would say, which allowed Black to hit Priest with a discus knee. There was then a bridging German suplex that got a near fall. Ripley then tagged in, and things kind of began to break down with Black and Zelina nailing stereo moonsaults from the top rope to the floor. Zelina then tried to go for a crossbody, which she was caught by Ripley, who had her set her for a riptide. Zelina did escape it and hit her a not so great looking code red, which is weird because she hits that move great all the time. But Zelina was off just a little bit tonight. Zelina escaped. Like I said, hit a little rough looking code red and then went and hit a proper one for a near fall. Ripley recovered and lifted Zelina up before she slammed her to the ground. Black then broke up a Black then broke up the sequential pin. Ripley and Priest then grabbed Zelina and Black, gave them both of the Razor's Edge, and the match came to an end when Ripley hit Zelina with a riptide 1, 2, 3. So there we go. The Terror Twins win. They celebrate in the middle of the ring, and the show quickly goes off the air because this match went right to the top of the hour. So the match was okay. Like, it wasn't horrible or anything. It was rough in a couple spots, but it was just a fine main event. Nothing special. And that's the show. It was nothing special. If I was voting with you guys in the poll, I would say it was just all right. And speaking of the polls, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of the show. As far as the polls do go, let's go over here and refresh those. As far as the Threads poll does go, 63% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 19% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 85% liked the show, 7% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. As far as the community poll, 74% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. And finally, as far as the live poll does go, 75% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And we will be back live tomorrow night following Saturday night's main event and John Cena's last match. It's going to be a interesting show, to say the least. We don't know what surprises or, special guests they're going to have. We'll have to all watch together and see what happens. Real Bank says Hogwarts Legacy free on the Epic Store. Yes, it is free on the Epic Store. And if you play through the Epic Store, you get a special Chocolate Frog back bling in Fortnite. But yes, we'll be live tomorrow night following Saturday night's main event. We'll be talking about that whole show, the NXT versus main roster matches, John Cena versus Gunther, which should be a pretty damn good match, and whatever they do for Cena after the match. My prediction is John Cena wins. John Cena picks up the victory against Gunther. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.